All right, rise and shine. It is Mer World Card time, and Dan, the great curator. Dan, where is he? Oh, I think the trolls have gone to Dan. He's really upset, guys. He walked away. He had to go have a moment to himself and decompress from all the hostility from the trolls, the haters about Marvel, Star
I've made
Wars,
it.
sports. Oh, you're here. Oh,
I made
okay.
it.
Okay,
I am here.
okay, dude, because I have looked on your Instagram the last night, and Brian, I did. I know we were texting you, like, dude, are you having a nervous breakdown, dude? What is going on? Like, you're having a midlife crisis. Something's going on because Dan literally has like posted like 20 posts on Instagram and like in a day, and a lot of them, majority of them, were about trolls and haters about Marvel and Star Wars and other non-pop culture stuff like wrestling and everything. I mean, pretty much the same stuff I, sell and collect as well. But I was kind of out of the loop. So was Brian, because we haven't seen each other since we haven't been doing these shows in several weeks. So we were like, Dan, what the fuck is up, dude? Like, what is going on, man? Like, what's all this hate about Marvel?
Whoa. Okay. All right. Well, let me just get it out of the way.
Okay.
I am fine. Fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. You know what was actually really cool? I posted a bunch of, so people who don't know, who aren't following the story, I posted a bunch of like meme reels. I went full on La Meme James yesterday, where I was posting all these reels trolling the trolls as a joke, but a lot of people reached out to me and commented, and it's actually really, really touching, because a lot of people reached out to me, like you and Brian, said, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" Like, they were checking up on me. So that was pretty cool. But I'm fine. I am completely fine. That was a joke. Okay. I thought it was obvious. I thought all those posts were obviously making fun of these people. It's not like I was like super serious about any of these things. But that's what that was. Okay.
So you're not going to jump out a window or quit the
no.
Quit the hobby.
Fuck no. Okay. Sorry. Excuse my language, guys. Okay.
But tonight, here, I think.
But tonight we're gonna get a little bit real. We're gonna get a little bit spicy.
A little dirty.
Okay, because I've got a small window of opportunity here to really let these people have it before it looks like I'm dragging it on. So I'm gonna take every minute I can to savor this opportunity, because I might not. I don't want to drag it out. I don't want to spend my time tenderizing all these fools continually. So tonight's going to be it. Okay. Tonight's going to be it, unless something crazy happens. Tonight's going to be it. Okay. But let me just kind of give you a little bit of background here. Okay.
Please do.
So you and me, we're no strangers to trolls, because we do things different. We do not make a lot of content about QB prospecting, vintage or modern or this or that, sports related stuff.
Right.
Like 99%, not 90, like 90% of the hobby content around cards is sports related. And we're not in that group. We are in the niche group. We do a little bit of everything, but mainly we focus Star Wars, Marvel, wrestling, just the things that we love. Right. Along with other content creators out there like Spidey Hit, Zen Morning, we do the niche stuff because that's what we like, right? And we get a lot of criticism for that, for people that don't understand, don't collect, don't like that stuff for whatever reason. So we're no strangers to that. That's fine, but there's a particular group of people online. This is like a handful, like two in particular, that have a reputation for trolling other people, because that's their content. That's the content that they make, right? They don't talk about anything else. They just pick things they do reaction videos. They call people out by name. They use people's face on their thumbnail pictures. They're like they're provocateurs is what I call them. They're just looking for troubles, instigators, right? Haters. Right? So what triggered this was these two particular people, and I'll mention the names, AIH and Sports Card Radio, right?
Oh, I thought you would do like Stephen Colbert, not mention.
Yeah. Usually I don't like to mention their names, but for tonight's purposes, for tonight's discussion, I'll go ahead and mention them. So they post a series of videos about Marvel cards because there was an auction that ended last week for a set of Marvel cards. It was a 2017 red PMG set that ended for like $10,000, where the previous auction, not for the same set. I already verified it. This was
It's a completely different set.
Completely different set. But back in like February of this year, that set went for like $200,000.
Yes, I saw that.
So a group of people, Sports Card Radio, AIH, Cage Lawyer, Card Porn, somebody, Extrinsic Collectibles or whatever their name is. A bunch of people were highlighting this auction and basically taking a dump on Marvel. A big old dump on Marvel, using this as the prime example of why those cards should never have been valued that high, why Marvel cards are not investable or not collectible in terms of monetary value, how people like you, me, other people out there artificially propped up the market by pumping it up and building all this hype and all this crap, right? That they were spewing. They made this post and talked about this, right? That's what that guy and Sports Card Radio dude, he used my name specifically. He put me up there and he called me out on that, saying, basically insinuating like I was the face of Marvel, which is wrong on so many accounts, because it's if you are in the Marvel community, you know who the big players are. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big player in the Marvel community. I just have a following. I make content about it. I'm passionate about it, but I'm not the face. Spidey Hits is the face. Okay, Justin, our friend Justin, Spidey Hits, he is the main
content Marvel and nothing but Marvel with
right?
him.
He has the best cards. He makes the best content. He's the most knowledgeable. He's got all the stuff. He's the guy. Yes. But for some reason, they picked me, and they put me in that category, and that's what kind of brought up this whole situation, because I took issue with that. Not in a personal way, but I just took issue with the fact that I felt like everybody was taking a big shit on Marvel and nobody was standing up for it. You know what I mean? Nobody. Right. And when I see this type of content, I feel like I understand that the prices in the auctions, I understand that like the last auction ended substantially less than the one that you pulled several months ago. But the way that they kind of framed the narrative around this was that like Marvel is bad and collecting Marvel's bad. And
like Marvel's done.
And Marvel's done, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in the Marvel community, okay? I'm not the biggest player in there, but I'm in the Marvel community. And I feel like they were just taking a dump on all the members of the community, all the people that collect it, trying to shame us, trying to make us feel bad, whatever. And it was a big joke to them. And they're like, I told you so, and this and that. And that's what I took issue with. And I just felt like, because I have a platform, I have a weekly podcast that we do together. I post daily. I'm an active member of the community. I felt like I had to push back a little bit on this narrative, because it was unfairly framed the way that they said it, right? Like, oh my God, Marvel should never have been that high, 95% down from the market values and all this stuff. And I thought they were being unfair, because I collect Marvel. And when I see posts like that, when I see like Card Porn make a post about this, when I see these guys make these videos, or I hear about these guys make these videos, it's like, okay, what happens if I post my card now, right? I feel like I'm going to get ridiculed. I'm going to get harassed. And a lot of people have reached out to me over the course of several months, telling me these type of things. This is how they feel, right? So a lot of people, reach out to me from time to time and thank me for posting all these different types of cards, because it gets them into collecting. It makes them feel comfortable for showing off their cards and things like that. So in that regard, I felt like I had to just kind of like say something, right? Say something about it. Okay. So that's why I took issue with that. Also, those guys, I don't follow their content, but I really don't like them, because they made a video about Sasha T, which I know Sasha personally. I'm not like friends with him or anything like that, but I know him. He's in my community.
Yeah, we see him most every weekend.
Yeah, they made a video of him several months ago where they called him a terrorist, and they got a lot of heat for that.
And I think child molester or something
like that, right?
Yeah,
and they,
something very like
the word they used was terrorist. Okay,
Yes. Well,
I
that
don't
too.
know. I don't know about
That
anything
was the
else.
worst. That was the racist part of it.
Yeah, and so I don't like those guys. I don't like those
Hmm.
guys. And for them to, if it's fair game for them to use my name on their thumbnail, to use my picture on their thumbnail, of course I'm gonna say something. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna sit there and let these guys, um, you know, ridicule me, make fun of me, and use my name as clickbait to get views for their page. Right? I gotta say something, but so that's what I decided to do. But I'm gonna do it in the way that is on brand for me, is what I do. I'm not gonna make a video, use their face and this and that, and talk all this shit. I'm just gonna make funny reels. And I've been sitting on, and this is the opportunity that I was waiting for, because I've been sitting on like 10 different audio reels just for this moment. Like this
I
this
was
was
wondering
like,
where you were getting him from. Like you're finding him so
oh,
fast. I'm like, how's he find these like
I
perfect
had them. I
audio
had
bites?
them locked and loaded, and I was just
Oh,
waiting for the right moment. And this was it. This was it. So I got to make all these fun reels that I really had fun doing, and I thought they were funny. I thought they were some of
oh,
my best
great.
work, to
Yes,
be
they
honest.
were.
I, I, I thought they were like some of my best reels that I've ever done. So like the Ric Flair,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
to be the man, you got to beat the man speech. Oh, I've been waiting to do that for so
Classic.
long. So I took the opportunity. So that's what that was about. Okay. So that's what this whole thing is about. But now I want to talk about it. I want to give it a little bit more context behind it so that people understand both sides of the argument here. And then we can talk about it. We can discuss it. Okay. Before I get into anything you want to ask me, any specific follow up or anything.
No, do you think this is hurt you or helped you? Like,
Oh, short answer is that it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot.
okay,
Okay. And I'll explain why.
are you heartbroken right now?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, I'm telling you, it doesn't. It doesn't affect me personally at all. Okay, and
Mm,
that's what I want you to understand. Um, I'll just go into it. Okay, what people have to understand is that people who make content on a regular basis, me, you, uh, Jeff Wilson, Rolf Cards, Brian, Sunday League Investor, even these guys, AIH, Sports Card Radios, people who make content on a weekly basis, we're content creators, right? We are within the hobby, the context of the hobby, we are content creators. Not all of us are influencers, okay? We don't have that
mhm.
power. And influence, like they call us influencers, but maybe we're like mini influencers, I guess, but that's giving us a lot of credit. A real influencer is somebody like Kanye West, like Kim Kardashian. If they post something, it gets instant monetary results. That's what an influencer is. Me, you, all these other guys within the hobby, we have our little followings, but we're just like, we're just members of the community that make content to support the community. That's what we do,
Right.
right? That's how we are active within the hobby. But what's important for people to understand is that we are content creators. So everything that we do is within the goal of getting engagement with our followers or even non-followers. So that means that everything that we post online, we want people to view it, we want people to click on it, we want people to comment, we want people to share it, save it, all that stuff, because these social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, they keep track of all these statistics, and they use these statistics with their algorithm to promote our pages, right? To promote our pages so that our posts go viral, so that people are suggested to follow us, so that, we get certain monetary opportunities and things like that. That's what this is about. Okay. So that's what people have to understand. Everybody that makes content, we don't do it, just to do it. We do it because the goal is to get engagement with people. So that's what people have to understand. Okay. That's the first
Mhm.
thing. Everything we do is for exposure, and each of us have a different niche, different brand that we do, right?
Mhm. Right.
Jeff Wilson, he does educational content about how to start in the hobby, what to do, what cards to go after, right? Rolf Cards, he does content about like going to card shows, making moves, flipping cards. Me and you, we do content about collecting weird niche things. We go to card shows, we set up as vendors, we buy, sell, a trade, right? And then you
Mhm.
got those guys, and then you got those guys there where they make content where they criticize. Okay, that's their brand. All right, however you feel about that, that's their brand. So every video that they make is going to be, they're not going to show you mail days. They're not going to show off their collection. They're not going to show you vlogs where they go to card shows. They're commentators, and they're going to critique and criticize and comment on all sorts of different topics in the hobby. And for some reason, they have chosen to target me for their weekly videos. I don't think the Sports Card Radio guys ever targeted me before. I know AIH is obsessed with me. I'm like on his weekly video. He does like a weekly podcast just of me. But
he's in love with you, man.
Yeah.
I got to figure out what his end game is.
But the radio
Does he just
guys
want you out of the hobby. Yeah. Like, do they want you out of the hobby? Is that the end game?
No, I don't think they care about me specifically, because I never met these guys.
Okay, right.
I've never met them. I've never talked to them. I don't think they care about me. What they care about is the engagement. So they're going to use somebody as clickbait, somebody that they can target and talk about. And these guys, they're just not creative enough. They're not creative enough to come up with any type of original content of their own. They don't want to entertain people by making them laugh, by making them feel good, by showing off cards that they appreciate. Anything that's hobby related, that's not their niche. Their brand is criticizing, critiquing, commentating, and they're not creative enough. So they've got to reach out to other people that they can target, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they target me. On this last post, they target Jeff Wilson, on King Golden, and whatever else. I don't watch their stuff, so I don't see the other things that they comment on. But that's what they do, right? They pick out subjects, they pick out people, and then they'll make a reaction video to that. And their goal with these reaction videos is to criticize whatever the subject matter is and elicit some type of reaction. They want to create some type of what I call a false sense of grievance in their viewership to get a reaction from them, because they get that reaction, they get the view time, they get the clicks, they get the shares, they get the engagement. That's what they do. Okay. And for some reason they choose to piss people off. Basically, me and you and all the people that we know of, we choose to try to make people laugh, try to make people happy, try to show people cool stuff. That's our way of getting that type of engagement. They have a totally different method, right? Mm-hmm. And that's fine if that's what they want to do. I personally, I don't understand why they're in the hobby and they choose that type of content. But if they want to do that, that's fine. But when they and if they want to criticize the things that we do, that's fine too. I got no problem with that. They want to criticize the type of cards that I show off, collect, whatever, that's fine. But if they're going to go as far as using my face in their thumbnail, and they're going to use my name in their title, and they're going to use, screenshots from my videos and things like that, then I think I have the right to respond in the best way that I know how. And the best way that I know how to respond is through roasting these guys through my Instagram reels. So that's what that whole thing was about yesterday. Okay. Awesome. But so now that I've kind of given you guys the background about why we do these things. Okay. And let me just say this, it's all this is a game. It's a game of engagement. Okay. They use my name, my picture to get clicks and views. I use their content to bring people to my page also. This is the thing that I want people to understand. And I'll repeat this several times tonight. It helps me. It helps me when they talk trash about me, because it puts my face, my name on their page, and their followers all see that. And people that are just searching YouTube, when they get recommendations in their queue of videos, they'll see my content, they'll see your content where I'm also on that, and then they'll see the other content where they see my face and my name. So all that stuff helps. There's no such thing as bad promotion in the content game, right? Because it all counts the same way. It doesn't matter. The statistics don't matter to me if it's a negative comment, a positive comment, whatever. A comment is a comment. A click is a click. A view is a view, right? So it helps me. Okay. And yesterday they fell right into my trap. They fell right into my trap yesterday because I got huge engagement numbers yesterday because I was the trending topic, and I highlighted these videos and I tied it into my reels, and I had tremendous engagement yesterday. So it worked out perfectly. Okay. Good. That's the point I want. And I probably helped them out too. So so you're welcome. Okay. If you guys are watching this, which I'm sure they're taking really accurate notes because they're going to make a reaction video. So you're welcome for the engagement that I gave you guys. Okay. But let's actually talk about what they did. Okay. And we'll see if it's really bad or not. Okay.
Okay. What did they do?
So they posted a thumbnail of like the bad hobby influencers, right? And this is what I actually was very flattered by this. They had their thumbnail, okay, and on that thumbnail is Ken Golden, Jeff Wilson. I don't know the guy's name, the guy who owns BBCE, and then myself. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Out of those 4 people, one person does not belong in that group. One person does not belong in the group. Okay.
You.
Out of those 4 people, okay, 3 of them own businesses within the hobby that are pillars of the hobby. Okay. Ken Golden is a millionaire, multimillionaire, maybe even a billionaire, owns Golden Auction, the most successful auction house in all the hobby. Jeff Wilson owns multiple businesses across the hobby, apps. He's got the biggest YouTube channel, the biggest reach, millionaire entrepreneur. The BBC guy basically owns the entire market of grading or authenticating boxes and packs, even though he gets a lot of shit for it. He basically owns the entire market. Okay. Right. Owns a card shop, very well established. And then there's me. Right? I don't know how I got on that list, but I took it like I was very flattered because they're putting me on a pedestal. These guys are putting me on a pedestal with these hobby giants, right? It's like, what am I doing there, right? There are people that are way more have way more following than me, people that have been in the hobby longer than me, people that have better cards than me, just so many other people that you could have put on that category, but they put me there as somebody who has as much influence in the hobby as those 3 guys. So thank you for that. Thank you. That's very flattering to me.
Oh my gosh.
And again, when people search their videos, if they don't know who I am and they see that video, they're going to be like, oh, that must be one of the top players in the game. That dude, Daniel, the great curator, he must be one of the top dudes. If he's comparable to Ken Golden and Jeff Wilson, he must be the guy, right? So that only helps me. Okay. But I personally, I think they probably could have done better. They probably could have picked somebody else. But they chose me. So thank you for that. Okay. In their video, they basically, he spent a good like 5 minutes, like 25% of his video was talking about me and my content, right? So he gave me like 25%, like 5 minutes of airtime, which is really good too. Okay, so I thank him for that.
Free advertisement.
Yeah, free app. Basically, he just kept saying my name, showing my picture, and that's great. But in that video, he basically accuses me of propping up the Marvel market. I am the sole reason Marvel cards became popular, became collectible, went to auction, made record-breaking prices. I'm the sole reason for that. Okay. And to me, like that's also very flattering, but to me, that's insulting to all the other Marvel creators out there. There were people making content about Marvel way longer than me. Spidey Hits is one of them. Marvel Madness, Marvel Guy, I forget the number. Our friend Kent,
right?
Sketch Card Hive. All these guys that make Marvel content. There are like a lot of people that made content way more than me. People that are way more active on the message boards and all that stuff. But for some reason, they picked me to be the representation of that. And they said that, I'm the one that caused these record prices, and they kept referencing the 2017 PMG auction that had it ended for like $205,000 basically in February. They kept referencing that as their point of reference for their argument that they were making. And there's a couple things wrong with that. It's like, number one, I've never, again, like I talk about it, passionately. I'm a collector. I have Marvel cards everywhere across my page. Okay. So they're right in that regard that I am a big advocate for Marvel collecting, but I've never had the type of cards that went to auction. I've never had the Spider-Man Gold 1 of 1. I never had any green PMGs that went to auction. I never owned a complete set. I never had any of those things. I got lucky and I got like the best cards I had was like a Miles Morales red PMG. That was the best card I had. Okay. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, PSA 8. That was the best card I had. And if you do your research, you'll see that that's like a mid-tier card. Okay. Even at the height of the market, that card was worth about $8,000. Okay. At the height of the market. All right. But it's basically a mid-tier card, but I never had any of those cards. Right. But somehow these guys think that the content I was making basically influenced all these people to spend all this money on Marvel cards. And I'll admit that I got a lot of people to collect Marvel cards because I shared my passion, and a lot of people became interested in that. A lot of people that collected in the 90s, they got reinterested in collecting Marvel. A lot of people didn't know these cards existed, so I exposed that a lot to them. But we work on a very small scale. Like, we're collecting like 90s Marvel cards that are worth dollars. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even at that time, they weren't that expensive. And the PMGs that I were collecting, they were worth a few $100s here and there, but they weren't worth several thousand dollars. They weren't in the
figures.
auction, right? They weren't those 6-figure cards. And to think that I got any of my viewers to spend that type of money, that's ridiculous. If anybody's in this chat watching right now, if you are one of the people that watched my content and decided to spend $20,000 or more on Marvel cards on a golden auction, please reach out to me. Let's talk about it. I'd love to get your mindset, but I don't think there's anybody that did that. Okay. So I just don't. So they're giving me that type of credit, but really, I don't think I had that type of influence. Okay. And then here's the other point I want to make about that: the people that are spending that type of money, 5 figures, high 5 figures, 6 figures on a card, the people that are spending that type of money, I don't think they're naive. I don't think that they're
no, you can't be.
Yeah, I don't think that they can easily be influenced by some guy on Instagram that makes reels and that has a weekly podcast. I don't think that that's my demographic. I don't think that's my target audience. Those people that have that type of stupid money to spend on cards, they're on a totally different level. That's like Jeff Wilson territory. That's Ken Golden territory, right?
Like, that's even above you. I mean, how can you get blamed for someone investing in a 6 to 7 figure card?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. I don't have that type of influence, but somehow these guys are giving me that type of credit. Okay. To influence the market that way, because they kept referencing this auction and they kept saying all these people lost their money on Marvel cards and this and that. I've never met anybody that really lost a lot of money on Marvel cards, to be honest. Like, we meet people at card shows all the time, and we meet collectors, and a lot of the people that I meet, they're hanging on to their Marvel cards, including me. I have a lot of my Marvel cards, which I showed off on all those reels. So most of the people that follow us, we hang on to our cards. And the only people that really cashed out on those cards were the people that had them prior to like 2000, the old school collectors that had them prior to 2020. Those people cashed out. I know a lot of those people, and they make good money on that stuff. Okay. But that's not the people that I usually interact with. Okay. But even if that is the case, even if you want to say that somehow I was able to influence, people who have a lot of money to spend on cards, at what point do you take responsibility for your own actions? Right. Like, if you're buying these golden auctions and you're spending $100,000 on a card, is it not your responsibility to do a little bit of due diligence when you're making a purchase of that size? Or is it more reasonable to blame some content creator that maybe had shown you some content that influenced you to buy that, right? Because
you were so excited about the Marvel cards. So that moved me to invest in a 6 to 7 figure Marvel card.
Exactly. It's like,
and now I'm broke, and it's your fault. You
cannot influence the people that have that type of money. They're not stupid. You don't make a
lot
of
adults,
money.
Man.
Yeah, you don't make a lot of money and have that type of disposable income to move around and not know what you're doing, right? So it's like, to make that type of argument, it just doesn't make sense. There's a big disconnect for me in that regard. If you want to say that a lot of people who spent like $100 to like $1,000 or more on Marvel cards, if you want to say that I influenced them and they lost money because they bought a card for $1,000 and now it's worth $500, okay, fair argument. We can talk about that all day, but you can't use the golden auction from February that sold for $200,000 and use that as the talking point of your entire argument that the Marvel card market was propped up. Okay. It's a different level. I don't play in that game. A lot of people I know don't play on that high level. Okay, that's completely over my head. That's above my pay grade. But they're putting me in that same category, and this is along the lines of they're putting me in the same category as Ken Golden and Jeff Wilson, and I'm just like,
Right.
not.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not. I want to be. Believe me, I want to have 100,000 followers like Jeff Wilson. I want to be a multimillionaire within the hobby like Ken Golden. I want to do all those things, right? Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? I
But
know, right?
I'm not on that same level. You know,
We would all take it.
I complain if I lose $40. If I buy a box,
Yes, you do.
if I buy a box of like
Yes, he
Mandalorian
does.
Chrome for $150 when it goes for $110 on eBay, I get pissed. Okay, I complain about
I've
that.
seen it, guys. When he and I have been opening boxes, he gets mad. It's just over $100 box.
Right. Like I play on that level. That's my level. Okay, and that's where a lot of us play. But for some reason, they think I'm on that level. Okay, so that's one thing that I thought that was a kind of a dumb argument. The other thing that they said is they made this argument that the hobby is a good old boys club, which on the high level I would agree with. Okay, this is something I do agree. On a high level, there's a group of people that
good old boys club
that they do business together, they network, and they can influence things together. Like guys like Ken Golden, right? He's a big time player. Nobody's going to argue with that. Okay, but they made this argument that the industry summit, which is going on right now, today's like the last day of the industry summit. It was going on over the weekend. That all the good old boys in the hobby went to the industry summit, including me. But I was not at the industry summit.
You were there. You were part of the Illuminati.
Yes, they were saying that I was part of the industry summit. I was part of the good old boys. I was part of the good old boys club and this and that. So it's just that they're not doing their research. You know what I mean? I was not there. Go check the video footage. Okay. If anybody says I was there, show me the footage. I was not in Las Vegas for the industry summit. I am not part of the good old boys club that they're trying to make. Right. But this is just another false narrative that these guys are trying to paint here that all the guys that control the hobby are at the industry summit. If that's true, I don't control the hobby. Okay. If that's true, I do not control the hobby because I was not at the industry summit. Sorry. I was not invited to the party. They didn't give me a guest pass or anything like that. So that's that. Okay. So that was another stupid thing that they said, but here's what really got me. Okay. This is when they got really, really personal with their argument. Is that they showed screenshots of some of my videos, and they said,
I watched those.
Yeah, they said, look at this idiot. He's spending thousands of dollars on Marvel cards. Look at this idiot. They call me an idiot, guys. Okay, I'm not exaggerating here. And then they showed two thumbnails in particular to emphasize their point that they think I'm an idiot. They showed one where I did a PSA reveal, and in that thumbnail, it says PSA reveal. It has like 4 Marvel PMGs, $2,400 PSA review, and they said, look at this idiot spending $2,400 on Marvel cards. If they had like taken the time to watch the video, they would have seen that the cards themselves did not cost $2,400. It's the damn grading fees at that time is what cost $2,400. I graded 16 Marvel cards. Each of the cards cost $150 to grade at that time. It's $2,400. But they just incorrectly assumed that the Marvel cards were worth that much. Those Marvel cards were for a couple $100 each, but I had to pay $150.
What did you do? Pay Express PSA?
It was the only service level that was open at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to have those cards back so that I could display them at the card shows, because we go to card shows every month, right? But that just kind of shows me that they didn't watch the video, so they were just making an incorrect assumption. And then the other one, which is even more egregious in their assumptions, is they hold on, let me pull this out because I gotta make a point here. Okay, give me a second.
All right, can't see what you say. Also, guys, I don't know if y'all know or not. Congratulate Aaron Judge. He just hit his 62nd home run, so now he's the home run king in the AL Baseball League.
Very
so
cool,
give it up for Aaron Judge.
Moment. I remember, just side note, I remember when I was watching the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race, and it was just back in the early 90s and or late 90s. Days. And that was just that was a fun time. So it's pretty cool to see people get to that next level. Anyways, okay. So back to my point here. The second thumbnail that they highlighted is the one that has where I went to Comic-Con. It was my Comic-Con vlog. Okay. And in there, it has a big picture of Spider-Man, and it says chasing a $12,500 grail. And they said, look at this idiot spending $12,500 on a Marvel card. This is why he propped up the PMG market, blah, 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 blah. Again, they didn't watch the vlog. That is a Comic-Con vlog. And what I purchased there was $12,500. But we all know it was this holy grail of comic books here, X-Men #1.
A classic comic book.
Yes, 12,500. This is a true investment piece. They didn't know that because they didn't watch the vlog. This is not a Marvel card, okay? I've never paid that much for a Marvel card.
It's a giant Marvel card.
Okay, but I paid that much for this comic book for sure, yes. And let me tell you, if those guys are clueless, they don't know anything about comics, but if they don't think that this is a premium A+ long-term investment piece, X-Men #1, 1963, the equivalent to a 52 mantle, if they don't think that this is worth the money, they're idiots. Okay, I'll say that right now. And if the comic book community ever got a hold of their comments, they would roast them alive. They would roast them like rotisserie chicken. Okay, because you don't want to mess with the comic book collectors. These comic book collectors are real deal, hardcore, serious people. Okay, they will tell you the value of this book. All right, but again, they said they incorrectly assumed that I spent that much money on a card, and I guess they thought I pumped it up and I dumped it later, but it's right here. Okay, so just based off of that, those false statements that they made here, it just showed that they didn't do their research. Okay, and given the fact that these guys this is the first time that they were talking about me, I've never had any interactions with them before, never had any problems with them before, but given the fact that this was their first time, kind of like trolling me, it just shows that they didn't really do their research. You know what I mean? They just picked me. They probably picked me because my videos appeared on the same video on the same queue as Jeff Wilson, right? They're like, okay, we'll just pick hobby content creators. They search it, and then my video probably pops up there with him, and they just probably took the screenshot and they put it in there as a filler, right? Because every argument, everything that they accuse me of, it's not applicable. It doesn't apply to me. I'm not a pillar of the hobby community. I'm not a major player. I'm not a member of the boys club. I didn't send cards to auction that made six figures. Okay. I didn't do any of that stuff that they were accusing me of in their video. It just shows that they haven't, they didn't do their research. And if they're just making false allegations like that, it really undermines their credibility. And that's what I want people to know. Okay. That just shows you again that the content that they're making is not intended to be informational. It's not intended to be critical about any type of real subject or real issue in the hobby. It's intended to be entertainment, to incite anger. Okay, these guys want to create a false sense of grievance. You see this same tactic used on news channels that talk about politics. Okay, I don't want to get into that, but that's what this is, right? If you turn on the news and you go to any news channel, any political channel, any daily news, everything that they show you is negative. Everything is oh my God, this person did this person did that. And each side, depending on what news channel you watch or what station you watch, has their point of view on it, and they're opposite sides because it's meant to be entertainment. It's not meant to be informational. It's meant to be entertainment because their target audience are people that they want to upset. Okay.
Right. Well, you need tension. You need conflict to create a story to, for people to watch. If it was just, hunky dory and everything was great, people would quit watching. Too boring.
Right. You have, and the people that watch their content are people that are like-minded to them, the people that share similar opinions about things. So when they say these things, when they try to criticize these people, their viewers, who share similar interests to them, similar thought process, it appeals to them. Right. Mm-hmm. But same thing with us, our viewers like the stuff that we present. Our viewers are Star Wars collectors, Marvel collectors, wrestling, pop culture nerds, everything that we talk about, they have a similar mindset, so they agree. So our content appeals to our audience. Their content appeals to that type of audience because that's the type of people that they're trying to serve. Basically, they're just trying to piss people off, which again, just doesn't make sense to me. You could easily turn on the news and get pissed off and get angry and worked up over these things. But within the hobby, of course. Within the hobby, I would just assume that people would want to be happy, like they would want to have fun and enjoy and feel good about themselves. And I don't understand how people want to watch that type of content and just get themselves worked up, right?
No, because every time I would go on there, it was the same old. And I quit watching all that until you told me about you being in these videos. So I had to go back and watch these again because it was just the same one note over and over again. Oh, what happened here? Dan, where'd you go? Okay, someone's cut Dan off. We lost Dan. Dan Earth. There he is.
Sorry, technical.
Oh, wow. I got flipped. Now, wait, where we go?
I was hacked, guys. I got hacked. I got hacked.
Yeah, you know what? I've been reading a lot of the comments and like Instagram on these guys' profiles, and a lot of comments about you, Dan. Is a lot of people think that you got into like non-sports, like pop culture, at the beginning of this year because you were mainly into sports before this, and you realized that there's too many comps regarding sports cards. So you went into the non-sports pop culture because there's no comps and you could just raise the prices to your, to your liking and rip people off.
Oh, okay. Rip people off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think about that?
That's a strategy that we all use. We all went from common cards to rare cards. Okay. That's why people are hunting down the one-of-ones, the super fractors, the super rare cards, the high-end cards, because they want less competition. Me and you, we've switched over to pop culture cards because that's where we have a more expertise and more interest in it. Whatever you want to say about it, that's where we've gone. And we go to shows on a regular basis where we buy, sell, and trade, and that's what we have to do to be competitive. So I don't know what guys have problems with that.
But were you doing this? Were you just collecting non-sports at the beginning of this year, or were you doing it before?
I've always collected.
Yeah.
If you've been in my house, you guys can see this right here. This is you don't spend money on something like this just because you want a backdrop for your podcast. You know what I mean? You don't have like a collection of toys, memorabilia, and all this other stuff just because, I don't know, you want to have an appearance. Like, I'm the real deal collector. Okay. That's something I'm very prideful.
Yeah. I will defend you. You have display everywhere, all over your house.
I am, or whatever collectibles. I am a true real deal collector. Okay. Of all this stuff, and I will put my collection against anybody. Okay. And my collection will hold up because that's how confident I am in the items that I've curated, the collection I built. Okay. And my knowledge base is vast too. So if anybody ever wants to challenge me on that, I welcome them to, but they're going to lose. Okay. You don't mess with me when it comes to my collection. Okay. But these people why does it, here's the other thing that kind of like bends my corner about this argument. Even if they're just criticizing me about spending money on these things, it's like, stop counting my money. That's my money. Okay. I can spend however much money I want on these cards, on these comics, on these collectibles. That's my money. Okay. And these people, they have a habit of criticizing. And this is another thing that I really don't like about these guys that make this type of content. And this is why I always have to stand up for Marvel collectors and pop culture collectors, right? Whatever we want to spend, however we value these things, that's on us. These are collectibles. I've said this many times before. They might have a market value if there's a whole bunch available, but a lot of these things are rare collectibles, which means that whoever owns them, they can price it however they want. You should never criticize somebody for pricing something that belongs to them. Okay. You can call it ridiculous. You can call it overpriced, whatever, underpriced, but you should never you should never try to criticize somebody for doing what they want with their own thing. And you should never criticize somebody for spending money on these things, right? Because if they value it enough, a lot of these things are rare. You can't find them anywhere else, right? Very limited. Like green PMG is very limited. If you can't find them somewhere else, collectors will happily pay extra to secure those things, to get into their collection, because a collector knows that when an opportunity to get a rare item comes up, you take it. Otherwise, you might not get that other opportunity again. And there's too much people out there that make content like this where they will criticize people for how much money they spend on this, right? If I want to spend $12,000, $12,500 on an X-Men comic book, that's my choice.
Yeah, like right? Bobby Brown says, that's your prerogative.
You might think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, he's crazy. He could have bought, he could have bought 4 other cards. He could have bought this other card, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But who cares? It's my choice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. This is how I enjoy the hobby. And these guys are trying to criticize people like me and everybody else out there that spend money on cards, right? And it goes to the fact that a lot of these people, if this was a Michael Jordan PSA 9 card, they wouldn't bat an eye. An 86 Flair Jordan, they wouldn't bat an eye, right? Because that's common to them. They understand that. But to other markets that don't understand pop culture cards, X-Men, Marvel, Star Wars, they don't understand it, so they don't value it. And that's the misconception that I want to highlight. Because just because you don't understand the value or you don't see the value in something doesn't mean somebody else doesn't see the value also. Let them do whatever they want. If people want to spend $200,000 on a PMG set, let them do it. That's their money, right? You don't have to count other people's money and how they spend it. And you certainly don't have to make fun of them when there's a lower auction, okay? When the auction ends at $10,000, you don't have to say, I told you so, and make these videos basically pointing fingers and laughing at these people saying they lost all this value on this stuff. It's just like, that's not a good way to interact in the hobby, I think, right? Because again, like they highlighted the Marvel auctions, but to be fair, everything is down. Everything in the market every market is down. Okay. Sports cards, crypto, NFTs, stocks, luxury goods, watches, real estate, every market is down.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Okay. So you can't just isolate this and say, ha, Marvel, I told you it's down. It's down. People lost a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, it's unfairly singling out one small sector of the entire hobby. Okay. If we're going to be fair about this, let's talk about sports. If you're going to use comparison of auctions, let's talk about that Jordan, that 86 Flair PSA 10 Jordan that sold.
PSA 10 Flair Jordan.
Yes, I have it right here.
Iconic card.
I did my research. Unlike these guys, I did a little bit of research. So PSA 10 Flair Jordan, January 30th, 2021, $720,000, all-time high, $720,000. September 24th, a week ago, $174,000. Okay, that it dropped.
Ooh, that hurts.
That dropped 76%. Okay. Zion NT RPA BGS 9, October 25th, 2021, less than a year ago, $173,000. Okay, for Zion, and he wasn't even playing, guys.
No, he hadn't played all year.
He wasn't even playing. September 22nd, a week ago, $75,000, down 57%. Trey Lance Prism Silver PSA 10, August 14th, a month ago, a little over a month ago, $1,550 for that. October 3rd, yesterday, auction ended, $405, down 74%. Okay, so it's not just Marvel cards, it's all cards across the board. And a lot of people will try to say, well, Marvel cards, they're going to look at it in terms of percentage. They're going to try to skew the argument in terms of percentage. And they're going to try to say, well, Marvel cards are down 90%, 95%. All these other ones are 54 to 75%, whatever. Okay. Yes, that's true. But you got to look at it in terms of dollars. Okay. Marvel's down 100 and what is it? 100 and let me see here. Marvel's down 190,000. That Jordan PSA 10 is down 525,000. Okay, almost 4x that much. So if it's between me, I'd rather lose the less amount of money than the percentage. I'd rather give up more on the percentage side than lose the actual dollar amount. Okay, so you can say that across all platforms. It's not just Marvel, but these guys are choosing to single that out, and then they lump me into that. Right? If they want to have that discussion, that's fine. Right? I don't care. But when you put me in there and you put me as the face of it and try to say that I'm the cause of that and I'm what's wrong with the hobby and people like me, don't bring any value, I take issue with that. You know what I mean?
Now you enjoy what you do. I mean, you enjoy card collecting, toy collecting, just collecting in general. That's how we became friends, because I liked what you had at your table, and I was like, I like the same stuff. We had the same, interest,
right?
And that's how we got together.
Right. And here's the follow up to that. You go search them. Okay. Usually I tell people don't even bother with them. I don't want them to get the engagement. I don't want them to get the search credits or anything like that. But this time, go ahead, go search them, go look at their catalog of videos. Okay. They don't have Instagram. These guys don't have Instagram because they never post anything. They only do YouTube. That's their main focus. So go look at their catalog of videos. Every video, it's critical of something or somebody. There's nothing that brings any positive value to the hobby through their catalog of content, right? Whereas if you look at our stuff, if you look at my Instagram page, everything that we have are show vlogs, showing off mail days, lighthearted discussions, reels. A lot of my reels that I post make fun of myself. Okay. I'm the biggest critic of myself. Almost all my reels make fun of myself, because I use that as a way to entertain people in the hobby. I show off all my cards, I do all that stuff. So you can see a real difference in the tone and the subject matter of each of our contents. Okay. If you just compare it side by side. And if they took the time to actually look at all or any of my posts, if they took the time to look at any of my last, 30 posts or whatever, they will see that all I do is show off cards that I acquire, show vlogs, nerd out over culture, all that stuff, right? But they don't. They don't. They just made crazy assumptions based off of probably, just thumbnails or whatever else. I don't know how they came up with their opinions, but they obviously didn't do their research. Okay, is what I'm taking issue with. Okay, and then the last thing I'll say about this before I go into my final argument here. Okay, appreciate everybody listening to me. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And listening to me. This is basically a rant, but I feel like this is my one opportunity.
We knew it was going to happen, though.
Yeah, I feel like this is my one opportunity to really air out all this stuff on these guys, because I don't want to continue talking about it. I want to post. I got some monster cards which I'm going to show off.
This is one full episode of What Bends My Corner.
Yes, this is the What Bends My Corner special, anniversary special. What Bends My Corner, guys. Okay. I don't want to continue to talk about it. I want to entertain the way that I know how, by making people laugh, by posting cool, rare cards, by getting people excited about collecting. That's what I want to do, right? So I don't want to share. Yes, yeah, and I don't want to talk about this stuff because that's not my brand. That's their brand. Their brand is to criticize and to shame people and to antagonize and all that stuff. And I don't want to allow them to control my narrative. Okay. I don't want them to allow their feed to take over my feed. If anything, I want my feed to take over their feed. I want my positivity, my collection to spill over to their content. So that's all they talk about. I would be totally okay with that. Okay. Mm-hmm. But here's the last point I want to make about these guys is that, I feel like, and I'm not the only person that does this. I feel like that type of content, especially by those group of people, they're meant to basically make us feel ashamed of what we collect. That's what these guys are really doing. So what if you would have taken Marvel cards and if you would have replaced Marvel cards with Jordan PSA 10s, right? Let's just say all I talked about was Jordan PSA 10s. Okay, that was the one card I collected, and that's all I talked about. Or QB prospecting, right? All the QBs that you should be buying, all the cards that you should be buying. This is all I talk about. I love it, right? If you would have replaced that subject matter with Marvel, they would not have said anything, okay? Because that would have been something that they could understand. That's something that they approve of. But the fact that I do Marvel, and you could take Marvel out of the equation, you could put Star Wars in there, you could put wrestling, you could put Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Simpsons, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, right? You could put any type of pop culture card in there. They would have said the same thing about me. And the way that I take that is that they're trying to basically say it's not cool to collect those type of cards. It's not cool to collect pop culture cards. If you talk about any type of card other than sports, okay, if you are excited about anything that's not mainstream sports, then you're pumping it. That's what these guys call me. They call me the great pumper, basically. Okay. I'm the master pumper.
You've had a lot of nicknames.
The great pumper. That's what they call me. Right. just because I talk enthusiastically,
A
passionately
great
about the
pumper.
cards that I collect. Okay. But here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. I've said this before. Pumping is not a bad thing. These antagonizers have misappropriated the word pumping and giving it this negative stigma within the hobby. But for me, I reclaim that word. I tell people pump everything that you love, everything that you own, everything that you have, everything that you buy, pump the shit out of it. Okay. You have to pump what you like because they call it pumping. I call it pride of ownership. You need to be damn proud of the things that you spend your hard-earned money on. Don't let anybody count your money. Don't let anybody tell you how to spend your money. You need to be damn proud of how you spend your money, how you do the hobby your way, what brings you joy. And it's okay to show all that off, okay? If nobody shows it off, if you don't show off your own collection, if you're not proud of your own collection, if you don't pump the shit out of your own collection, who's going to do it for you? Huh? Who's gonna give you that platform and do it if not for yourself? So I take issue with that. I gladly pump every single thing that I own because I want it to hold value. I want it to be desirable. I want it to appreciate. Who doesn't?
Me too.
Okay. If you say that you don't want any of your stuff to appreciate in value or even hold value or be able to be resold in the future for profit so that you can roll that profit into something else, what are you doing in the hobby? All right. What are you doing? Right. That is an underlying interest of every collector, every person in the hobby. It's an underlying interest that we have. So as members of our hobby, as members of each community of cards that we collect, we have to be vocal about it. We have to be the advocates for these cards because if we don't do it ourselves, nobody's going to do it. And we can't let these other people shame us just because they don't share the same interest, because they don't value the cards the same way. Okay. And I know a lot of people will try to make arguments saying that's not what they're saying. Okay. They're just saying that you're talking about this card too much or whatever. But that is the underlying argument. They're saying that the cards that I collect, that the cards that I'm excited about are not valuable, should not be valuable, should not command the type of money that they commanded at that time. Right. That's what they're trying to say. If I talked about anything else, they wouldn't say anything about it. Okay. If I talked about any of these mainstream things, Trey Lance cards, Tua cards, Brady cards, Jordan
Zion
cards, Aaron Judge cards.
Aaron Judge. Yeah.
They wouldn't say anything. It's just the things that they don't understand. They think it's junk. Right. But everything is junk to 99% of the world, except for our small community of collectors, right?
Is that why you showed that TikTok video of the jeans being auctioned off?
Right, because these guys are not collectors. I didn't even get it. Thank you for reminding me about that. These guys look like everybody collects everything, right? Everything is collectible to a certain group of people. I showed that video about the denim jeans that sold for $76,000. Can you imagine spending $76,000 on jeans, old used jeans? But somebody did, because in his community,
they were like original Levi's, right?
In his community, they value denim jeans, right? And what was great about that video is that when those jeans sold, people didn't say he was stupid. People didn't laugh at him.
He got applause.
Yeah, the people in the room cheered for him.
Mm-hmm.
His community cheered for him because he made a purchase. He stepped up and paid and won an auction, and he was proud to show it off. He probably wore those jeans. He probably wore those jeans out of that room, But
they looked really dusty.
Right. Other collectible communities have this universal camaraderie where they encourage each other to collect. When somebody shows off a card, you don't say, "Oh, you paid too much for it. Oh, that card is shit. Oh, that card's not value." No. You say, "That's awesome. Congratulations." Everybody that I interact with on Instagram, they show me cards every day. "Oh, check this out, Dan. I got this card." I don't take a shit on any of those guys. I always say, "That's cool." I might not pay that much for that money, or I might not buy that card. I might not pay whatever they pay for it, but I always say, "That's cool. That's awesome. Congratulations." Because that's what the hobby's about. And
that's what the hobby is about. I love when people share with me that what their purchases are investments.
Right. And that's what I try to promote. And these guys, they're the anti-promoters. They're the anti-dumpers. That's what these guys are. They're the they're anti-pumpers. They're the pro dumpers. That's what they are. Okay. They're pro dumpers, and they shit on every card that we show off in our collection because they think it's ridiculous that we spend our own hard-earned money on it. And that's what I take issue. If anybody takes anything away from this conversation tonight, if you're tuning in late and you just want to go skip through this, you don't want to listen to my long rant, hear this, okay? Just be proud of the things that you collect. Don't let anybody influence you. If you want to spend whatever amount of money that you're comfortable spending on the things that you collect, be proud of it and show it off. Don't let anybody accuse you of being a pumper of whatever it is just because you get to show off something that you're proud of. Okay. That's the only way that we can get the hobby to grow. People need to understand this. The only way that the hobby grows is if we bring more people in and we build a community.
Exactly.
We have to build a strong community of collectors that stay in the hobby, that collect, that spend money. Okay. And we can't do it if we criticize people
if you intimidate people or bully them or do whatever, make them feel like, stupid for doing what they want to collect.
Right. It's in my gentleman investor code. I haven't gone back to that a lot lately. I felt like I didn't need to be honest. I felt like a lot of people got that message, but now I have to go back to that gentleman's code that I have in the ending of all my videos. Is you just have to be nice, respectful towards your fellow collector, right? You got to be a gentleman. You can't be a nasty little bitch, okay? And just snap at people all the time. You've got to be a gentleman and interact with people. That's the best way to kind of grow the hobby. And if we grow the hobby, if we get more people in, if we create demand for the things that we collect, that's where the appreciation for these cards come from. That's where the values rise. Okay. So that's like my whole rant on this. The last thing that I want to say about this, and then we'll take it to comments if you want. I see a lot of comments in here.
Oh my God, they're cracking me up, man. I've been reading them.
Yeah, I see
why you've been talking, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I will highlight some of these comments. If some people are saying stupid stuff, I'm going to block you. Okay, but the last to wrap up the point here, guys, I want you guys to understand that all content creators, everybody that makes content on a regular basis, including me, Merlin, AIH, Sports Car Radio, Jeff Wilson, Ken Golden, all those guys, everybody that you follow on Instagram. Okay. We are all content creators, and the goal of content creation is self-promotion. Okay. Self-promotion. Yes. That's why I don't even have it here. That's why I have like my PMG, the shirts that I wear. Everybody gives stickers of their logo. Everybody has a logo except me, right? But
what's happening? We got to get you on this.
I know.
That's another thing. Forward with this.
That's another thing. See, I'm not big time. I don't have a logo. But everybody has a logo. Everybody has T-shirts. Everybody has all these things to promote their brand, their name, all that stuff, right? The game is self-promotion. So I understand that. And that's what these guys understand also. It's a game. They want to use my name, my platform to gain followers to their page. Okay, that's fine. All right. And I will do the same to them. If they want to promote me and call me all these things, they accuse me all these things, that's fine, because that brings people to my page. And I am so confident in my reputation, in my manners, in my collection, all my interactions across the hobby. I am so confident that my reputation speaks for itself. Everybody that's ever interacted with me at a card show or online, I always take the time to talk to people, to say hello, to answer Instagram messages, to answer YouTube comments, to take pictures with people. I go out of my way to be.
That's so true. I'm around you all the time. I witnessed this myself.
I go out of my way to be a model member of our community. So I put my reputation against all these guys. They can talk as much crap about me as they want, because I know that if anybody looks at their stuff and they click on my page and I get the credit for that click and they go through my content, I know that I'm probably going to win that person over. Okay. And if I don't win that person over, if they're just like so on the opposite side of collecting than me, that they criticize me and they're just like, they're loyal followers of those people, I don't need that's not my audience. I don't need those type of followers. That's why I block a lot of people. All right. Some of these people, like that guy Dan in here, okay, Dan the card guy, whatever, they criticize me for blocking people. But the reason I block people is because I don't need that type of content. I don't need that type of interaction. I don't need to defend everything that I do to people that don't appreciate the things that I have, right? I
Right.
don't need people saying nasty things on my page. I just block them. Okay. Like I'm not like, this is not it's not a privilege. I mean, it's not a right to view my content. Right. It's like a privilege to view anybody's content. And if you don't appreciate that you get blocked, right? You get blocked and go appreciate something else that makes you happy. You don't have to like attack people. So that's why I block a lot of people that don't share, that common interest with me. But everybody else, the overwhelming majority of people that I meet in the hobby share that common interest. And I have great interactions with all these people. So I just want people to know that it's all, the whole thing, it's not personal between them, me. We never met each other. We don't even know each other's names. Okay, guys, we don't know each other at all. We've never met. We don't go in the same circles. These guys don't go to card shows. I never seen these guys ever before.
At card shows, no.
Yeah.
Because they would have a whole different perspective of you and me.
So it's not personal. We're not arch enemies. We're just content creators, and they have their specific brand, their specific niche, and I have mine. And sometimes that clashes. Okay. And that's fine. But it's all about self-promotion. So I don't want anybody to like feel bad. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm being bullied or anything. Don't worry about it, guys. It's all a game. I don't take any of this stuff personally. Yesterday, I had the best level of engagement I've had in several months because of those guys and what they posted. So that's fine. If they want to do that every once in a while and I get a big boost in followers, I'm okay with that. Okay. But here's the last question that I'm going to pose for you guys. Okay. And I'll end it. And then I want to hear from you, Merlin. Okay. Because I feel like I've been going on a long rant and everybody says, I'm always abusing you, Merlin. I'm like,
I know you are.
I'm like, you're an abuser. So I really want to hear feedback from you and your perspective on all these things, because unfortunately, because you're my friend and we share a table and we travel together, we're road dogs. Unfortunately, you get a lot of flack from me, and I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I try to be the best shield I can, but I know you get a lot of heat for that, so I'm sorry for that. So I want to get your opinion on this. But here's my question to the community. Okay, you've heard the underlying reason that we do all this stuff, right? As content creators, you've heard my argument about what type of branding that we have, what type of message each of us try to put out there. Okay. You guys know all that stuff. You've heard my opinions. Now I want to ask you guys, I want to pose this question. This is a hobby. Okay. For some of us, this is a full-time business, but for the overwhelming majority, this is a hobby for us. And we have responsibilities. We have families, we have jobs, we have daily life that gets in the way. So a lot of us can only allocate a certain amount of time for the hobby every day. Minutes. Some are hours, some are minutes, some are just like maybe a day a week or something, where people can scroll on their phones, they can look at posts, they can watch YouTube videos. We have a limited amount of time. Time is the most precious asset we have. If you guys haven't realized this, here's a life lesson. Time is the most precious asset we've ever had and will ever have. And the sooner you realize that, the better you can be in utilizing your time, right? So we all have a certain amount, a limited time to use in the hobby. It's not unlimited, okay? Just a very limited amount of time. How do you want to spend your time in the hobby? Do you want to spend your time in the hobby watching videos that will create this false sense of grievance in you, that will antagonize you to the point where you make nasty comments on somebody else's page where you don't even know them? Do you want to feel bad about how much money you spend, how much money your perceived losses are, how wrong you're doing things? Do you want to get angry at other people? Do you want to consume that type of content with your limited time? Or would you rather use your limited time to consume content to educate yourself, to catch up on the hobby, to make yourself to be entertained, to laugh, to enjoy, to make yourself proud of your cards, to interact with friends in the hobby? Like, what are you going to do with your limited amount of time? That's what I want to ask people. Okay. To me, the best thing for me to do with my time is to spend it with people that I care about, people that share similar interests with me, people that bring value to my life, to my collection, and just build on that. Okay. I don't want to spend time fighting with people. It's exhausting. I don't want to spend time defending anything that I do in the hobby because it's my own choice. It's exhausting, guys. I don't want to watch anything that's going to make me lose sleep at night or get my blood pressure up. None of that stuff. That's all crap. That's all crap. I don't consume that type of content. So if you are in the middle of this, if you consume both sides of content, whatever, just ask yourself, where is my time best allocated and what do I want to do? Okay. That's the best question I can pose to you. You have the floor, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, do other people who are in the pop culture, you know, social content realm, do they get flack as well? I mean, does Don Diego get flack for, you know, collecting and investing in Pokemon, talking about that, or Spidey Hits? Does he get hell for Marvel? These other people, because they love doing what they're doing. This is their favorite hobby, and fortunately, they're, you know, now making, you know, money off what they love doing. Same with you. I mean, I've known you for over a year before you even started getting into social, you know, content. You, I saw your, you know, passion for this, and that's why I was, you know, drawn to you and wanted to, you know, collaborate with you or go to shows with you, because I liked your energy, your enthusiasm about collecting. I mean, that's what it's about. This is, you know, escape for us. It's like if I go to a movie, when I watch a show. I mean, you and I already have kind of stressful jobs. I mean, for what I see, because I feel like it being a lawyer, it's a very stressful, you know, position to have, and you have to deal with a bunch of clients who are very obviously, since it's, you know, divorce, you have to deal with, you know, the mediation between divorces. There's a lot of stressful people that call you up all the time. So this is an escape for you. Same with me. I work in the entertainment industry. It's a very stressful profession. You know, meeting deadlines and, you know, nasty producers and stuff. And I need an escape from that. And this was my escape, was the card collecting. And I loved doing it so much and meeting the other people. It was a great networking. It was great to just talk about collecting and my love for this hobby. That's why I got into it. And that's why I decided at the beginning of this year, I was going to travel to all these shows all around the country with you and have this experience. You know, we knew what we collected, and we were going to sell these shows were a certain niche, be it the pop culture. It wasn't going to be sports because the whole market is flooded with sports. We knew it always wasn't going to be a win-win all the time. You know, we were going to have our, you know, ebbs and flows and, you know, our disappointments, you know, sometimes more than we expected. But that was the price we have to pay. And we knew getting into this, that's what's going to happen. You can't win them all. I mean, if we win them all, we would, you know, be living up in the Hollywood Hills in our mansion.
Right.
But we want to share, like we can always win, but we want to show our highs and our lows and our experiences. That was the whole, you know, that was our idea. That was our whole concept of traveling and vlogging and everything, and doing our live streams and doing our podcasts with Brian at all these shows. We just wanted to share with you all, and we didn't want to act like it's all, you know, vanilla, like it's all like great and just hide the ugly from it. But we want to show you also that we're, you know, vulnerable too. But we still love what we do. It doesn't, you know, push us away from the hobby. That we still love it. I mean, you're still buying Marvel despite the market. I'm still buying music cards and Star Wars and looking forward to the next boxes. And there's stuff that I keep to myself. There's stuff that you keep to yourself. It's not like we're just dumping everything we have. Mm-hmm. But the most important thing is that we meet other people, other collectors, other dealers, and it's all about talking and just sharing. And it's like a, you know, a fraternity or whatever. It's just great that, you know, you should be around people who have this passion, and then, you know, you become friends and you see them at the shows and y'all, you know, high five each other and hug it out, and you show, you know, your cards off, and you just talk shop all night long. It's so much fun to do. It's a great escape. That's pretty much primarily why you and I do this.
Yes, and if I can add to that, it's like we document our journey. We buy, sell, and trade within the hobby. That funds everything that we do. That's the way that we self-fund our activity within the hobby, right? And you're absolutely right when you say that. Honestly, it's not even about the cards, it's about the camaraderie. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could take the cards out, you could put anything in there. We could collect anything. We could collect toys, comic books,
Beanie Babies,
beanie baby, denim jeans,
yeah,
whatever,
denim
right?
jeans.
It's about the camaraderie, and that's what keeps me in it. That's why I go to card shows so that I can hang out with all my friends on the weekend in different cities. That's why I interact every day with all the people that I know, and I follow their content and I support that. That's what this is really about. It's just about us having a good time. And we try to, that's our brand, right? Our brand is about having a good time, trying to spread that message. And other people, unfortunately, their brand is to try to tear that down. So we have to be strong. We have to be like a shield against these people, to try to stop them from ruining what we're trying to build here and the community that we're trying to build.
And everybody here, they're adults. You're responsible, for your own actions. We just, maybe it's you show too much energy, Dan. I don't know. You're too much happiness. You're just too happy all the time, dude.
Sorry. Okay. But yeah, that's another thing. That's going to be a whole different podcast, guys, where we talk about taking responsibility. I'm so tired of people trying to blame other people for their decisions. Yeah. You got to take responsibility, but that's a whole different rant. Okay, so let's not. Yeah. I won't get into.
And I've made bad deals with people. I mean, I'm sure we all have, but I see those people all the time. I can't get mad at them. They're only doing what they should be doing, and vice versa. I'm sure people made bad deals with me, and vice versa. But we made that choice. We made our own choice. We shook the hands, and that's just the way it is. You can't win them all. And I don't blame anybody except for myself. And you learn from all this. You make better decisions in the future.
If people lost money from collecting anything that we talk about, okay, I feel bad for those people in some regards, but again, you have to take responsibility for your own decisions. And part of what we do of documenting our journey of being card sellers, traveling and doing all this, part of why we document this stuff is to show people how hard it is to sell cards.
It's so hard.
Our tagline, guys, our joking theme tagline is to break even. We have an entire podcast called the Break Even Club, guys. Okay. We show you like how hard it is to make money selling cards sometimes. So yes, you're going to take losses. I've lost money. I've made money and I've lost money. That's just part of the game. You can't blame other people or content creators or any of that stuff. You just got to kind of understand that that's part of it. That's part of what we do here. Okay. And you can't single out anybody, any specific niche area or person or anything like that. All right. Anything else you want to get into before I highlight?
No, we have so many comments. Let's really get to those. I mean, we're starting to talk in circles now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as I can. We'll maybe hit like 15, 20 comments, okay? Because I don't want this to go too long, okay? But I want to acknowledge people.
Me up.
I want to acknowledge some people, some supporters of ours in here. Yeah. I'm blocking a lot of these fools in here. I'll just tell you guys right now, I am blocking a lot of these comments that are not going to be on point with our conversation. Okay. I don't care if it's like contrary to what we're talking about or whatever. You don't have the rights to derail the conversation here by just being overly negative and critical. Okay. So don't get hurt about it. All right. Well, actually they're going to get hurt, but just understand why.
Let's do it. Hansel, Jeff Wilson deserves some criticism. He's made terrible calls that have backfired. He is like Jim Cramer of sports cards.
Okay, so this is a good point here. This is a good point. I want to comment on this. I am casual acquaintances with Jeff Wilson. I joke that he's my BFF, but I don't know him. I've interacted with him within the hobby a few times. We've made content together, but I'm not like friends with him or anything. But he makes a very different type of content than I do. He puts out, he has an app that tracks cards prices. He puts out top 5 cards. He does way different content than me. I've never put out, these are my top 5 cards to invest in. These are how you can make money. This is my master class in how you can make, roll up money and all those things. I made some informational videos in the beginning, some very general informational videos in the beginning, but the majority of my content is collector based. Okay. So to compare me with him, I'm flattered in terms of, if you think I have the same amount of reach and influence as him, I'm flattered, but we make very, 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 very different type of content.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like I said before, I think almost everyone has made terrible calls that have backfired. I mean, every single one, no one's perfect.
I know a lot of it. Yeah. I mean, we can do the research. You can see a lot of
every single person.
Everything's down.
You can find a flaw from everyone.
Right.
David, it is unfair that great curator has become the poster boy. Agree. David, there's literally a handful of more vocal guys than him that can be labeled true Marvel pumpers.
I told you, I'm not the only one. I'm not even the biggest one. I just think they Googled it or they put it in the search engine and my face popped up the most because I put out a lot of content.
Because you do all the content.
Because I put out
20 yesterday.
Or the algorithm promotes me to the top because I play that game, right? The algorithm promotes me to the top, but I'm not the top guy. Okay. They just think I am for whatever reason. This is going to be interesting.
Did not know that. A collector's dream. You pumped Marvel constantly.
Yes, because I love it, guys.
Yes,
I love it. I pump.
Go to his house, people. He's got so much Marvel.
This
not just the stuff he sells. He's just so happy. He loves. Why can't he like Marvel? There's people who I know that love like Michael Jackson. Everything in their house is Michael Jackson. You know, like is that their
pumping is not a bad thing. That's one thing.
Should I make them feel like shit because they love Michael Jackson so much?
That is one thing that I will take that as a compliment. I wear that as a badge of honor, guys. I pump what I love. Look, find me another one. Find me another person that has a entire framed 1992 Marvel Masterpiece collection on their wall like that. Find me another person.
It's all over his house, folks. I'm not kidding.
I'll gladly pump Marvel all day long because I can back it up because I love it.
Okay, what do we have next? I know we have a million of them, so I don't know what you're. Okay, Legion of Doom. Love the name, man. Drop the fake nice guy routine. Embrace the heel you are.
I want to. Believe me. Believe me. I would love my dream. Okay, so my other love is wrestling, guys. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's why Dan and I love almost everything. The same for stuff.
Check this out.
I love wrestling too.
Check this out. Okay.
That's what drew me to your table the first time I met you.
Official replica, the big gold belt here, guys. Okay, believe me, in another life, my dream would have been to be a heel wrestler. I would have loved to be the bad guy. You know, I would love to do that. I would love to be. It's so easy to be critical of people. It's so easy to attack people for no reason and make up all this stuff. I would be great at it. I would be the ultimate hobby heel, but that's not on brand with what I believe in. Okay, although that could be really fun. And I could have a great time with it. I just can't do it. That's not what I believe in. And I don't believe that that's good for the hobby to have those type of people. Okay. But I appreciate the comment. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? And Ric Flair is one of the most famous heels ever. And let me tell you, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in wrestling. One of the nicest people.
Exactly. Let's see here. Sorry. I got to get through this here. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. I know. I'm just cracking up over them all.
Trolls. If you see a comment, you can highlight it. Okay.
No, go ahead and just do it. Joseph, the great curator just flashes a couple of cards. Not sure how that influences Joe Millionaire purchases. Yeah, I totally agree. We've already talked about it. Again,
I mean, if people think that my content influences these guys that spend thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in the hobby, let them introduce me to these people, please. I have a lot of investments that I would love them to partner with. Okay. If I can influence these people that much, please, I would love to talk to them. Okay. But I don't think it happens.
Yeah. We meet hundreds of people at every show that have way much more spending money than you and I do. Way more.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to give this guy a little shine here because he half annoys me, but sometimes he's okay. So I'm going to give him a little bit of shine here because I want to talk about this. He brings up a valid point.
Okay, let's do it. Dan, the card man, watch your videos too, Dan. It's about the hype at the entry-level price points that builds to the high-end auction hype too. It's all correlated.
Okay, I want to talk about this because somebody made an interesting comment today. Hype, to me, people say hype like it's a bad thing. Hype is the same thing as relevancy to me.
Yeah.
Right? What is currently hot? What is currently relevant? Okay. I'll give you an example. Two guys. Okay. Aaron Judge, Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols cards were worth nothing, like way down in the beginning of the year until he got hot. Okay. He got hot and he was chasing 700 home runs. His cards went up in value. People were talking about him as being an investable guy again. But before that, when he played with the Angels, when he played with the Dodgers last year, he was like a forgotten athlete. They were ready to put him out the pasture, but now he had this renaissance of a part of his career, and his cards spiked up in value because he became relevant again, and people were hyping him up, right? But it just means that he was relevant. Same thing with Aaron Judge. Man, I lost a lot of money on Aaron Judge cards last year when I was buying baseball because he wasn't relevant last year. All of a sudden this year he has a monster year.
Bam.
He chases an all-time home run record. His cards go up in value. Okay. Everybody's hyping him up. Everybody's saying, oh, Aaron Judge this, Aaron Judge that. They just sold like a Aaron Judge Black Label Superfractor on one of the auction sites for like over $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Right? And now he's the number one guy now.
Right. You know, that's hype. Okay. Yes, that is hype around that. And most likely those cards will go down, but that hype is due to relevancy. And that happens with everything, guys. We
even stock.
Yes. We focus on
everything.
We focus on so many different things, and then we change our focus to the next thing. That's how a market works. So when people say, oh, you hyped it up, or you did this, or this is all hype, that's part of it, guys. You have to understand that that's part of relevancy, and that's what makes the cards valuable. All right. So interesting comment. I'll give him that credit. He does say a lot of stupid things, but I'll give him that credit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be boring on your videos and just kind of uninterested in your cards. Yeah, I understand. Johnny Birch, as a full-time dealer, I have made plenty of great investments, but plenty of bad ones as well. Regardless of the outcome, they were my decision. Ownership of the outcomes entirely rest on me. Totally agree, Johnny. Thank you.
Yes. It's called taking responsibility for your own actions.
Yes.
All right. Pokenomics here. Pokenomics. I did a very interesting interview with him where we kind of clashed on this a little bit. Our friend did a reaction video to this. He's just so unoriginal. Like all he does is reaction videos to things. He can't come up with his own content. But I want to highlight this. I want to highlight this comment here.
Who does the reaction videos?
AIH.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to highlight this comment by Pokenomics here because again, I'm trying to be fair, guys. I'm not just highlighting the sugar-coated comments here. I'm trying to involve dialogue.
Gotcha. Pokenomics. I think it is somewhere in the middle. I think you could have given better advice warning people that Marvel is in a very speculative and risky place without long-term stable collector interest.
Okay.
Well, that's just...
So I'm going to push back on you on this one, Pokenomics, because if you go back to my videos and if you see any comments that ask me if you should sell Marvel cards or anything like that, I told everybody that had low cost basis. I talk about this all the time. Low cost basis.
Yes, you do.
I told all my friends. I told all the Marvel collectors that were sitting on big cards. Okay. I sold anybody that asked me. I said, if you have a chance, take profit. I say that all the time. It's never bad to take profit. If you can take profit, it depends on your cost basis. That's when you should sell, blah, blah, blah. I say that all the time. So I gave that general advice to as many people as I could. But again, my channel is not about giving investing advice. I can answer some general questions here and there, but that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about collecting, following your passion, and everything that comes with that. And sometimes you make money when you follow your passions and you collect. Sometimes you lose money, but that's what my channel is about. My channel is about entertaining people, documenting my journey of being a vendor at card shows, things like that. I don't want the responsibility of giving people advice. Now, I may be put in that role. People may see me, and if they ask me questions, I will give my best answer for it. Okay, but you can't input that in me. You are different, Pokenomics. If anybody doesn't know him, he's a Pokemon collector, right?
I imagine.
He sells a course. He sells a course on like Patreon or something where he goes deep dive into investing. He pulls out graphs. He does all this stuff. You are a different type of content creator than me. So you cannot impose your same rules or your same strategy on me. It's just totally different. Okay. And you have to understand this. Okay. Your comment where it says that Marvel is very speculative and risky place. Okay. You yourself said that everything is speculated. Okay. Everything.
Yeah, I would agree
on everything. You yourself said that in our interview. Okay. So again, I can't take responsibility if people don't understand that cards are a speculative market. Okay. I equate it to gambling all the time. But again, people have to understand this when they make their own decisions. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like anything in the card world is speculative. I mean, just look what happened to Trey Lance. Everybody was investing in him, and right before the season started. Now he's out for the entire season. And there's even an article, if y'all can go on ESPN's website, there's a whole article about people who are, investing in, prospects in the minor leagues. And that they're talking about how gutsy that is. There's people who not even out of the single A minor league clubs, and people are already spending tens of thousands of dollars on these guys. That's as risky as it gets. Hobby Champs, my main question to TGC is why the hell didn't you buy that PMG set for $11,000? Costs less than your Kurosawa one-on-one sell. Swing and a miss. Oh, Dan, I even saw that. I think IH or someone posted that you had bought one of the red PMGs for 12,500 for less than what that set was for. So what do you have to say about that?
Again, I didn't buy that card. That was
that was
X-Men #1. That was X-Men #1, guys. And believe me, I would rather have this than that 50 PMG set any day. I don't care. I don't care if that PMG set was $5,000. I would rather have this. I'll put this against any collectible in that price range any day of the week. Okay.
Dude, that's gold. That's gold right there.
Here's the simple answer. I didn't want it. Okay. I have cards from the 2017 set. Okay. But I didn't want it. And also I don't have unlimited funds. People think that I'm a millionaire. I'm not. I'm not Jeff Wilson. I'm not. I'm a middle class person, just like most people in this chat room here. I don't have unlimited funds. And also I made a big purchase, which I told you last week, which I would take right now to show you.
Yay! Okay.
It cost me a mortgage payment, but I picked up one of my Grail cards.
You love her, man.
Charlotte Flair WWE Transcendent Superfractor. Okay. Ooh. Gold Superfractor on card auto 1 of 1. I picked this up around that same time. So I spent all my allowance on this. My wife did not give me any more for the week. So that's
that's enough.
That's the answer here. Okay. I spent my money on this.
Oh my God. Beautiful.
I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna pump the shit out of this card, okay? Believe me, guys, you're gonna see this everywhere because I love it, and I want this to go up in value, and I want everybody to chase and promote Charlotte Flair because she's the GOAT of women's wrestling. Love it.
I got a Solo Sikoa 1 of 1. Woo!
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, you also owe me for this one when I see you at the show.
That's right.
They bought this for me on eBay.
I even buy cards from Merlin.
So my Tom Cruise rookie card.
Okay. This I'm just gonna highlight this because I think this is funny.
Okay, let's do it. A collector's dream. X-Men 1 is no 52 Mickey Mantle.
Oh, I would beg to differ. And I would invite any comic collectors to make that argument. Okay. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what a CGC 9.8 would sell for, if it would sell for $10 million or whatever it is. But I would say that comic is the equivalent to a 52 Mantle.
You think there's even one out there?
Maybe. I'm sure there is. I mean, if you want to use a better comic, I would say Amazing Spider-Man AF-15, Spider-Man's first appearance. You could say that one or Superman #1, right? But X-Men #1. I mean, come on, how iconic can you get than that comic?
Great. It's so iconic. Adrian, CV Sports Cards. Brother, I don't think you've been following what's been happening in the whole sports card hobby. Everything is down, everything. Yes, we do know that. I don't see anyone talking crap about the 1 million loss of the Kobe Chrome Refractor or any other major hit lately.
The most money I lost on cards in the last 2 years is my Kobe Bryant 1996 Topps PSA 9 investment. I bought 10 of those cards. At on average about $1,000 each. Okay. Thinking that I was going to be rich, thinking that it was going to be like a $5,000-$10,000 card within a year or so. Right. They went down to like $175. Okay. And when I got out of those cards, they were down at $300 each. Okay. So that's the most money I lost on any card. And it was a Kobe Bryant 96 rookie. So what can you say? About that? That taught me a hard lesson about pop count. For sure. That pop count on that is like 15,000 or something.
Oh gosh, really?
Like that, right? Yeah.
And how much is it valued at now, you said?
Like about 175, I think.
Oh lordy.
Let's see here.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interaction in the chat room tonight. Definitely a lot of chatter. A lot of chatter. And there's a Benji Bronk in the comments. Is that Benji Bronk from Howard Stern? Let me know.
We'll see.
Hobby Champs. Truth be told, I think the hate directed toward Dan is a bit much. Did he pump? Yes. Does ... Is there more, Dan?
That's it.
Okay.
I told many times I have a hashtag that says "pump what you like." I don't take pumping as a pumping to me is just having pride of ownership of your cards. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to have pride of ownership of your cards, but yes, I do think like somehow I've become the face of this, even though I'm not the main guy. I don't have the most influence, and I just show off my collection. But somehow these guys have unfairly painted me as the face of this movement.
Because you have too much energy, like I said.
I guess so. Maybe I come off as
too much smile.
Yeah.
Get rid of that smile, dude.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't. Oh, you got to show it to me.
This is a funny one. This is
okay. I have to see some funny ones. Inglorious P. Oh, talk about how y'all screwed that guy out of a 1 of 1.
He's no, that's you. That's you, Merlin. He's talking about the Kurosawa.
mean getting it?
Yeah.
Receiving it or
getting it. I think he's talking about you getting it out of the shoebox.
No, that guy knows all about me. We've actually are friends on Instagram. We stay in touch. And he was next to me at the card show at the Atlanta. What's it called again? Culture Collision.
Yes.
And he saw me selling Star Wars all weekend or that Sunday and buying some of the boxes. I was buying the boxes there at that time. Gosh, $200 a box. And he goes, well, before you leave to go to the airport, I have something to sell you that I've had in my shoebox that, but when you leave, I'll show it to you. And this was Sunday. So I was about to head out to the airport and, close my booth at the show. And he pulls out that Kurosawa one. He goes, you told me this is one of your favorite artworks. And I was like, oh, yes. And I was like, how much is going to sell this to me for? I was like, how much do you want for it? And I was like, I'm probably going to have to go over to Brian and Dan and, put some money together to buy this. And he goes, just $500. And luckily I had $500 in my pocket. And I just gave it to him, but he didn't care. He knew all about it. And he's totally tickled about, the journey of this card just as much as we are. Awesome. And I've kept, I told him, I mean, he doesn't regret anything. That's what he chose to do. He's not mad at anybody. He thinks it's great for the, hobby. Mm-hmm. La Clesión de mi Padre. This is masterwork passion.
Exactly. If there's one thing people cannot say about me is that I'm not passionate about the hobby. And to give perspective, guys, is like, we've been on this for about an hour and a half. This is going to be one of our longer podcasts. I will wrap it up pretty soon, I promise.
Well, we got 140 viewers, so we're doing pretty well.
Guys, I could be watching Game of Thrones right now, Lord of the Rings. I could be spending time with my family, but
did you watch it Sunday?
Yeah. I did catch up on that episode.
We watched it last night. Great.
Right? I could be doing all sorts of other things, but I choose to spend my free time here with you guys talking about this stuff because I love it. Okay.
That's
I love
exactly right. Why do we do this? Because we love it.
Guys. It's the passion. And this passion is what fuels the hobby. So it should never be extinguished. It should only be encouraged. And I wish that everybody else could share my passion because I think if we did, the hobby would go to next level awesomeness.
Sean, laughing out loud. I was buying pop culture stuff 20 years ago. Did Curator influence me from the future?
Exactly right. I don't. Yeah, I don't. To think that I influence people. I mean, I might expose cards that they think are cool, but I'm not like they don't listen to me. I'm not a freaking cult leader of pop culture cards or something like that. It's crazy.
Hardball Jim Ball. AIH is in here. I know it.
I bet he is.
He's in here.
I bet he is. He's taking notes. I
see IH in here.
He's taking copious notes because he's going to make his reaction video, and that's fine, dude. That's fine. You can do whatever. Just be respectful. Just please be respectful. Don't try to start an online beef, okay? You're going to get your viewers. You're going to get people from my page to go over to your page, and they're going to look at your videos. You're doing very well. You've grown in the last year. All that stuff. Good fortune to you, dude. Just be respectful, okay? That's all I ask.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next who we have?
This is funny here.
Oh, Danzel. Aaron Nelson, all these haters who lost money are now in the comments raging. Of course.
I don't know what to tell you guys about that. You know what I mean? Oh, here's another thing. If you lose perceived value in your cards, that's different than actually taking a loss on your cards. Okay. If like a lot of people, they say that guy who bought the PMG set at $200,000,
right,
he lost $190,000. That's unrealized loss in that. If he still has it, who knows when the next auction could be, right? You guys have to understand how markets work. They go up and down, and the market price for a card at auction is really dependent on the bidders at that time. So that card, the next auction could be as high as that. It could be way lower. Who knows? Okay. But don't try to make people feel bad just because another auction ended for a card that they own that they had no control over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Holly, Hobby Champs, Dan, please pump my Bobo Super Collection. Thank you.
Oh, I'm on it. Don't worry, Hobby Champs. I'm on it.
Yeah, when the pandemic hyped cards.
If I can get Bowl cards to set all-time records, I will admit I'm an influencer. Okay, I will gladly do an entire podcast and admit that I was the influencer behind that if that happens.
JH, pump my base prism Tyler Hero rookie.
Look at this. Look at all the requests.
Hey, but Tyler just got signed a big mega deal with the Heat contract extension.
That's what I'm saying.
Like great hype right now on him.
It's different. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like if people are dumping on PMGs, but you could say the same thing about any market. Like all these people that they bought all these cards, you know, they had their own problems with it. It's not just the stuff that we buy. Here's another funny one.
Okay. Adrian, let buy Russell Westbrook cards. They're going to go up. Ooh, you can do it. Hobby Champs, Pup Merle's OnlyFans page. Oh my God, don't. How'd y'all know?
Do that. Okay, so here's another thing.
That's a secret.
Let's take this second to give a plug to Merlin. Please subscribe. We got 135 people in here. Please subscribe to Merle World Cards.
Oh, please.
We need to get this man to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year so that he can go streaking at the Dallas Card Show in November, guys. So please.
And then you'll see that on my OnlyFans page too. Okay.
Please. Okay.
I'll be wearing my Britney Spears thong.
I am pumping Merle World Cards YouTube page, guys. I am pumping Merle World Cards YouTube page. So please help him out.
Bobbles and ball cards. You didn't do good research. That 86 Fleer Jordan went above 800,000 for its all-time high.
I stand corrected. So instead of losing 540,000 or whatever, it's 640,000. I stand corrected. Thank you.
What the hell? Wait, that's kind of off, Dan. What the hell?
Yes.
Oh Lordy. There wasn't one that sold that low.
That's so lower than that?
I thought you were saying that.
You know what? The last one I saw was like 720, but just maybe I didn't check all the auctions, but that's the last one I saw.
Aaron, I think your influence has been greatly exaggerated. Yeah, that's an understatement.
That's what I'm saying. These guys have on it. I mean, thank you for putting me on a pedestal with the hobby giants, but really, guys, come on, let's be serious. It's not that big, okay, guys.
Because I think this stuff has really gotten to your head, Dan, because I was like, oh my gosh, Dan's going to eventually show up at these card shows and do a total Roman Reigns and every
acknowledge
Dallas,
me.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge
Las
me, guys.
Vegas, acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. All right. No, I'm going to start having to charge an appearance fee at these card shows because I guess I'm that big.
I was waiting for that, dude.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to be set up with you anymore at the card show section. I'm going to be in the autograph pavilion.
I believe it.
Signing autographs. That's the influence that I have on the hobby.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. You're one step away, dude.
Yes, exactly.
Now, time out. Are you going to the Las Vegas card show this weekend?
I am.
So you'll be there? Okay.
Yes.
What are those days?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, it's a 3-day show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be there, but you'll be there with Jordan, right? So if you want to see Dan, go to the Las Vegas card show this weekend.
Right.
Jordan Vegas. Mm-hmm. Game Time Gallery. These two dudes are harmless, just trying to make their way in the hobby while making content. Thank you so much.
We're just like a lower budget version of Gin and Juice, guys. We're just out here to have fun. and entertain people. That's it, you know. And then people are just
Yes.
trying to be a buzzkill for us,
And
but
just share our passion for the
yeah,
hobby. That's it.
yeah. But we
You
we
know,
can't let them kill our buzz. We can't let them be a buzzkill because our spirit will not be stomped out by these guys. And one thing I'll say too, that sports car radio dude says I have influence. That guy has 10,000 more, 10,000 more subscribers on YouTube than me. If anybody's got influence, it's that guy, not me.
yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
Hobby champs. To be fair, Dan could have pumped that Kurosawa one as Daps did after he bought it, claiming it is a $100,000 card, but he sold it instead. So he bypassed an opportunity to pump it to the moon. Just saying. Yes, he did. He sold it way too early, but we weren't expecting Daps to come up and throw the money down the table.
I gave him all the upside, and I'll tell you this right now: that Kurosawa is worth at least 30 grand right now because I know another superfractor sold for 15 grand.
Which one?
I can't disclose the information yet, but it will come out at some point. But
I can't wait to hear about it.
Just sold for 15 grand. Damn. So that would make that Kurosawa at least 30 grand. So I gave him upside on it. See, just to help out the hobby.
Yeah, and that card has so much story now to it that everybody knows that card. Mm-hmm. It's become the iconic card of the Galaxy Chrome series.
It started a movement. A movement in Star Wars, and everything that I hoped for from selling that card happened. So I will gladly take credit for that.
Yeah, and I don't regret what we've done because it's really opened so many doors for us in the hobby, and I'm enjoying the ride.
Right.
So thank you very much. Dexflow Toys. What bends my corners at the Great Merle Curator's Judgment Day is coming. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Is this an inside joke? Why does he keep saying this to you? I'm scared.
Because the Judgment Day, that's their, what they say.
Oh, I was worried. I thought this guy had a beef with you.
I'm Finn. He's just kidding. I'm Finn Balor, and he's like, it's your Judgment Day.
Right.
Now they're going after AJ Styles. Now I watched it last night. Aaron Nelson, Sports Card Radio is a joke. Yeah. Now in one of the videos he talked about how they went to the summit. Was it this year or last year? And they had already paid for the hotel and everything. And then they go to the show and found out they're banned.
Yeah, because nobody wants them because they're dicks.
Why were they banned? Now, what's the
I don't know.
legitimate reason?
They probably said something antagonizing and they offended the wrong people. This is people understand this is a hobby. It's a community. It's community based. You don't have the right to be anywhere. You know what I mean? If you're going to antagonize people and you're going to try to piss people off and do all these things to hurt people, we don't need you around. You know what I mean? So I think that's what his problem is. I did used to watch his videos. To be full disclosure, I used to watch Sports Card Radio video in the beginning. He did have some very interesting information, interesting takes. When he's normal, I think he must be on meds or something, because when he's normal,
well, there's two of them. There's the two brothers.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't tell the difference. Okay, but when one of them is normal, they're okay. Their content is informational, whatever, fine. But then they get bipolar. They flip the script and then they start attacking people and they start saying nasty things. Like when he called Sasha a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He got a lot of heat from that. That was shocking to me when he got that. And
I was shocked too. My jaw dropped.
Yeah. The comment section, he was responding to all the comments and he was just getting even nastier with people. So that's when I stopped watching him. I never had any issue with him until he brought my name into his content.
And they even talked about Mojo Sports and said Mojo Sports is a child molester and things like that. That was a little across the line too much.
That's
you can't just say stuff like that on videos.
Crossing the line.
Yeah. Adrian, $50 super sticker. Thanks, Adrian.
Appreciate it, Adrian. Adrian is one of our biggest supporters. Thank you so much, Adrian. See, this is what I'm telling you guys about self-promotion. We need things like this to happen to fuel the channel. Okay, so appreciate it. Adrian, CV Sports Cards. We're gonna give him a little plug. Please follow him on YouTube. He gives
Instagram.
He gives great, real deal, real relatable content, and he's super cool guy, super nice, and he's been a supporter of us for a long time. So thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
And he'll be down because you and I will be at the Del Mar show in a couple of weeks, and Adrian will be with us as well.
Yes, we'll be sharing a table with Adrian, so it's going to be fun.
Yes, yay. James Lowe, don't worry about other people. Do what you do, and that's what we can continue to do.
Appreciate it, James.
Johnny Birch, Dan Merle. Let's talk about Panini Impeccable WWE coming soon.
Next week, we'll definitely talk about that.
Next week, whole different ball game there. Sean, Great Pumper. Is that your OnlyFans name?
Well, you're gonna have to subscribe.
One,
you're gonna have to subscribe to find out. Okay, exclusive content for you guys on that one. Okay.
He'll be laying all his PMGs over his naked body. Woo! Hobby champs Alexis Ohanian and Ken Golden are literally manipulating markets behind the scenes. Yet we're talking about two guys named Dan and Merle, laughing out loud. Yep.
Okay. Here's another thing. I will fully admit, on a very high level, there is market manipulation on a very high level. Real deal people that have serious influence, like the CEO of Fanatics, what was Michael Rubin, right?
Michael Rubin.
Ken Golden, guys who are top of the line in the industry. Yes, they can do things. They can manipulate things. And I do believe there is high level market manipulation on that level. Okay. And even celebrities, that have a lot of influence, a lot of money. They can
even if they don't intend to, they do because they're in a high profile position.
Yes, because those people are influencers. Yes. Those are real influencers. Ken Golden has 70,000 subscribers on Instagram. He owns a multi-million-dollar business. He has employees. He can do all these things. Steve Aoki is a worldwide celebrity.
DJ, yes.
Yeah, worldwide celebrity. These guys do have influence. Me and Merlin,
no.
It's not even on the same level, guys. So it's just stop. If you want to call us micro influencers, okay, you can say that, but I think that's being generous.
Okay. Who's next? Hear all the giggles there. JH, don't admit you pump. You are better than that. When you said you were pumping earlier.
I like I said, guys, I'm not ashamed. I pump. I pump hard. Okay. I pump my cards hard. And I'm not ashamed of that at all.
This isn't OnlyFans, Dan.
Yes.
We're not on OnlyFans.
I will freely admit that because it's pride of ownership. Okay. I am damn proud of my collection. If you guys saw my collection when I got back in the game to where it is now, where I've curated it, where I've narrowed it down, I was buying base Luka Prisms,
yes,
PSA 9s,
yes,
guys.
You are.
Not even PSA 10s. I was buying PSA 9.
PSA 9s.
Okay. Base Luka Prism, base Zion Prism cards, World Cup Prism, base everything. I was buying base
everybody
PSA 9s, all this junk, and now I've gotten into a point where I really, really love my collection. Everything I have, I could sit on and I'd be okay with it. No problem. So I'm super, super proud of that. And I will show that off every day of the week.
Good. Agree. Same here. Aaron Nelson, everybody pumps. All these true collectors in the comments don't care about money. True.
It's true. Very true.
Thank you, Aaron. Chris Joyce, do a little research on SCR. They don't need your name for clicks or money. SCR?
I beg to differ.
Sports Card Radio. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sports Card Radio.
If they're using my face in their thumbnail and my name on their title, okay, and if they're picking on me and if they're putting me in the same category as Ken Golden, Jeff Wilson, they probably need.
There's a reason. Okay? There's a reason for it.
Yeah, it is.
They're getting the clicks. They're getting the clicks.
All about self-promotion of their channel, guys. That's what it is. Okay.
Otherwise, they would continue to do it.
Do they have any?
They're getting the feedback.
Yeah. Do they have any personal issue with me? No, because they don't know me. They never met me.
They don't know them personally. Okay? They haven't had argument together in person or anything like that.
They're just using me for clickbait, and it's worked because that video has a lot of views on it, so it's worked. Okay, and also, I did watch that video. At the end of the video, they talk about their own channel. They say, "Follow us. We will make you money. We will save you money. Follow us. Follow people like us. Don't follow these people." So they're self.
Yeah, they repeat it all the time.
Yeah, they're self-promoters just like everybody else.
And I don't hate them for it. For that specific reason. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I got no problem with the content that they produce as long as if they're gonna use my name, then I get the chance to respond. Okay. Yes. If they want to talk about something else, they can do whatever they want. I don't care. I do my own thing. But if you're gonna put my name, if we can put my face on the thumbnail, then I'm gonna respond to it.
Everybody should have a chance to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Canterbury, love your videos. Makes me laugh every day. Thanks. Thank you, Canterbury.
Appreciate it. All right, I'm just
because we got a million comments. I know.
Let's see here. Da-da-da-da.
Okay. Ed Ram, Merlin, you the man. Ed, good to see you, buddy. Can't wait to see you again soon. Are you going to come to Dallas in November? Okay, there's a lot of dead air here. So yes.
Sorry, I got to go through this.
Okay, go through.
I'm blocking a lot of people. I'm blocking a lot of people here.
Wrestling was really good last night. Are you going to watch Extreme Rules on Saturday?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
It'll be some good one.
That's the one.
Have you been following the White Rabbit?
Logan Paul and Roman Reigns going out.
Is it Extreme Rules? Oh, I thought that was going to be at the Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the White Rabbit? I want to know. Anybody know who the White Rabbit is?
Ray Wyatt.
You think it's going to be? Okay. Hobby Champs, Dan, TCM. You have to understand that your approach isn't the norm. Some of these people go way too far. And what does he mean by that, Dan?
I don't know, but again, like we just try to focus on doing our own thing, you know. Rarely do we ever have nights like this where we talk about other people, but you know, I think this time it warranted it. Okay, but you know, most of the time we just focus on doing our own thing.
Yes, agree. Get this off your chest now, and we'll move on.
I feel great.
Dust your shoulders off, dude.
Thank you for everybody who listened, who hung out with us tonight. Thank you I'm sorry if I can't get to all the comments here. I'm trying to get to the best ones I can, but I appreciate it, guys. I sometimes this is therapeutic, you know. Like I'm so grateful that we have this forum, this podcast that we do every week because it allows us to really, you know, talk about what's on our mind, and I appreciate everybody giving me their time and giving me their ear. I won't go into it anymore after tonight unless things get crazy. I will not go into it anymore, and I will go back to my regular scheduled programming. I promise.
Yeah, who is the main event for Extreme Rules? Is it going to be Riddle versus Seth Rollins?
You know, I'm a little bit behind on that, so I haven't kept up with it
because it's not going to be titles. Game Time Gallery. Merle does have some cool T-shirts. Thank you, buddy. I collected a lot of them. Joshua Blessing, car market is crashing, not these guys' fault. No, but it's just it's the whole world, man, is dealing with, you know, economy issues. Ed Ram, I've met both of these gentlemen, never had a bad experience, always good. Well, it's always a pleasure seeing you, Ed. And like we said, we share cards and talk about cards. HKY Barn Collectibles. Curator, you are great, like your name says. I love the information from your videos.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's what he intends to, do. Serious Drama. I love the name. In all fairness, the Curator gets lots of hate because he worships Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson's my BFF. Jeff Wilson's my BFF. So
I've seen him bend the knee for Jeff.
Yeah, I admire. I look up to him. He's my BFF. So I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes. Junk Slabs, you definitely need to do a few stunners and chug some beers, like Stone Cold.
After this, I'm gonna get myself a nice ice cold drink, and it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, we haven't even had dinner yet. Have you had dinner?
No, not yet.
Me either. Maria ordered some food. I don't know what she ordered tonight. It's a secret. I ordered sushi last night. It was so good.
You know what?
While we watched 90 Day Fiance.
You know what? I'm going to highlight this one right here.
Okay. There he is, AIH Finance. Yes. Stay positive, y'all. Thank you, buddy.
see, if you're cool, no problem. We can engage. But if you're disrespectful, I don't need to do it. You know, that's all. That's all. I love it. Okay?
I love it.
So he wrote a bunch of other comments in here. Sorry, I'm going to pass them by. Okay. We don't have time to talk to it, but I just want to let you know. It's my olive branch that I've extended to him. Okay,
I love the olive branch.
You're cool. You're respectful. No problem. Okay.
Yay! That makes me feel good, guys. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the hobby should be.
Right. Dun, dun, dun.
Ear itches.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna have to screen through a lot of this here. And then my battery's almost about to die on my computer, so I'll get to like 2 more comments. Okay, 2 more comments.
Oh, 2 more comments, guys. Sorry if we can't get to all of you all. greatly apologize if we miss some of your stuff. But maybe you should, make a donation. We'll,
yeah.
bring attention to those. Maybe
we'll
$5, 10.
Sure.
Just saying.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah.
TCG plug on Insta. Whoa, what a name! Came by just to say that Charlotte Fair Superfractor. Wow, indeed.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
Loved it. I have to, pull some Bray Wyatts out if he shows up at Extreme Rules. I've got some, stored. Mo Hoops, less problems. Is this? It's not Mo, is it? This is another Mo.
No, different.
It's very simple, because you'd be paper gems. It's very simple. Did you sell your Marvel cards after bringing attention to it? If no, you're okay. If yes, you deserve to be hated on. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Let me tell you this. I bought into the hype. I bought into my own hype, guys. I paid up for a lot of the Marvel cards during that month stretch. Okay, I worked against myself by bringing attention to these cards because I had to pay higher. Go talk to. I can name people where I spent thousands of dollars on Marvel cards, and I bought and sold Marvel cards throughout that time, and I still do it, but I still have a lot, guys. Okay. I was never sitting on these rare cards that sold at auction. I never had anything better than a red PMG. You know what I mean? Like I never had any of the green PMGs or any of the high-end blue ones or anything like that. I worked against myself. Okay. But my whole goal was to just bring exposure to that market, to share my collection, and other people appreciated that. Okay. So, and I buy, sell, trade cards on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? But I actually worked against myself. Same thing with Star Wars. I'm working against myself by bringing attention to it.
Exactly. Thank you.
my goal is not to make thousands of dollars on these things. My goal is to grow the community of collectors. Okay. So that's your answer right there.
And he'll continue to do it. Trust me, he will. I know him. Dan the Card Man, get back to some informational videos, mate. They were great. Yeah. Do you intend to do any more?
Maybe. We'll see. They take a lot of time. It's much easier to do the podcast, and I have way much more fun just hanging out with you on Between the Two Slabs. So it takes a lot of time to edit those videos, so that's why I stopped doing it. But, if I have to get back in the game and do that because people need it, then I will consider doing that in the future. Okay. So that is my battery's about to die here. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. We'll wrap it up. Okay. We will put this to bed. I promise I'm not going to talk about any of this stuff in the future unless things get crazy and they attack me again. But I will not talk about this willingly in the future. It's going to be all regularly scheduled programming from now on. And everything that you would expect to see from my channel, from Merlin's channel, content-wise, we're going to do it. We're going to show you the cards we collect. We're going to share our passion with you. We're going to have fun. We're going to try to entertain you, try to make you laugh. That's what we do. That is our brand. Last parting notes here, and then I'll sign off, is just think about the type of content that you guys want to consume. We have all limited amount of time that we have to allocate for the hobby. So where do you want to allocate your precious time? Do you want content to entertain and make you laugh and make you feel good? Or do you want content to make you angry and create a false sense of grievance? Okay. For me, the answer is obvious, but to each his own. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and Merlin and everything. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys. See y'all next week. And I'll talk more about music cards then, guys. Bye.